In this video, we're looking at a tool which could be the most important when it comes to working and teaching online. If you've had any experience working or teaching online, then you're going to be very familiar with these problems, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to remind you of them. You sit down, the student connects, and you've got to ask them about payment. And they say, teacher, could I pay next class? That kills me. It kills me. What about this? You sat there and it's gone 5 or 10 minutes into the class and your student just hasn't appeared. And suddenly a message comes through. Teacher, where's the Zoom link? And you're thinking, I've already sent that. And oh my God, we've lost 10 minutes of the class already. Or even better, you've got a student from a different country and they've completely forgotten that there exist time zones, and that you're living in 2 different ones, and then suddenly they realize that, in fact, the class you scheduled at 4 o'clock is actually at 1 o'clock. So what I'm going to show you today is a tool called Koalendar. Now, this is not just a scheduling tool, it's much more than that. And when you think about everything it can do, which you're going to see in this video, you're going to realize it's much more like a teaching assistant, or your teaching operations system manager. Think of it like this: it's a person sat right next to you that's just fixing and solving and organizing everything so you can focus on teaching. This tool provides us with fewer no-shows, it gives us more stability and assurances when it comes to payments, and also it just gives your teaching business that much more professional image. If you follow this channel, then you might be familiar with a few things that I do, but let me just refresh your memory. I work as a director of studies, I also have my YouTube channel, and I also teach online. And so the great thing about this tool is it gives me all the options I need to be able to offer bookings to those 3 groups of people in each unique way. So here are all my booking pages, but they're not all the same. So for example, new students would come here, and this is only for 30-minute slots. But if I go back with tutorials with Charlie, these are only 15-minute slots and are only available on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I don't want to be speaking to the parents every day. And so you can see very quickly that although I offer a number of different services, that it's very clear to the client or customer exactly what they need to choose. And Koalendar is not working independent from everywhere else. It's also linked to my Google Calendar, which a lot of my personal and other things get put in. So for example, if I go to the top here and go to integrations and apps, you can see here that Google Calendar has now been connected to my Koalendar booking pages. You can see here there's a lot of other integrations, so if you're not using Google Calendar, don't worry. So you can see here at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday, it's currently available. But if something was to come up on my Google Calendar that was to block that, so for example, let's go to Google Calendar and put lunch with mum and add a time, and let's say this happened at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I don't know why I'm having lunch at this time, but I go to save. Now, if we go back to this, you can see here, suddenly the times have disappeared. I'm now going to show you behind the scenes so you can see why all of those booking pages appear differently. I'm going to go and show you first the new students come here booking page, which is the first contact my students have with me. This is probably one of the best things about Koalendar. So you can add a whole host of questions that you can ask the student before they receive their first class with you. So if we just scroll down to booking form here, you can see I've got a series of questions that the student must respond to if they are going to book a class with me for the first time. So one of the things I really need or really think is important is a successfully completed needs analysis document, which is just here. I also have my cancellation policy, which is included again in the initial questions that I'm asking the student. You can see here I've got the needs analysis document just right here, and I've also got my cancellation policy right here. I'm going to show you now what returning students do. So now I'm on my returning students booking page. You can see there's a question here about please upload your homework before your next class. Now I always give my students homework, and you can see here that I've given authorization for Google Drive to be able to save files and upload files to a folder. You can see here that there is here an option to choose a file. As an English teacher online, I teach students from all over the world. And so you can imagine that their native language is not always the same. And so one of the things you can do before you create a booking page is to change the language, especially if you're always dealing with the same students all the time. But Koalendar will update the language to match the language of the browser, and will also update activate the time zone. You can forget about those scheduling conflicts or when students connect at 1 o'clock when they're supposed to be connecting at 10 o'clock. Are you ready for the best part? Because this is it. Having to start a class with a student and the first question is, have you paid for this? Koalendar solves this. It has a Stripe integration. If you're not familiar with Stripe, Stripe is a payments platform, and it means that when the student goes to book their class, they have to pay there and then. We just go to our dashboard. I'm going to go to a course that is not free. So for example, my exam preparation courses. All I need to do is go to this section here and go to activate collect payments with Stripe. So let's imagine one of my students has arrived at this page and want to do the B1 exam preparation class, and they go to book now. It's actually not going to let them continue until they've made that payment. Teachers nowadays, they don't just offer one specific service, they offer a number of different services to reach as many clients as possible. For example, here you can see on the right hand side, I've got 3 different services, and the way I've activated this is just by going down to the bottom here and selecting services, and I've got this activated right now. And here I can even add more. So at the moment I've only got 3, but I could keep adding them here. And the way this works is that I can actually add different services at different prices. If we just quickly go back to the description of these services, you can see at the very beginning of the description of all the courses, we've got minimum 5 classes. To ensure that students are booking 5 classes, we're going to go down here, we're going to make sure that students are allowed to book multiple bookings. And if we go to availability and go to advanced configuration, we can add booking limits. So here you can see I've got 5 bookings total per email. And the final saying, which really makes sure that it's only 5 classes as a minimum, is this require approval. So what happens here is that students, if they only book 2 or 3 slots, I can reject the classes and I can actually contact that student and say, look, you need to book 5 minimum. Along with services, another way Koalendar makes bookings unique is by offering group classes. If I go to the dashboard and go to this section here, I can choose group classes. Here I've chosen 6 as a good number to go for. And I've activated this also to show that how many spots are left, so students get that feeling that, you know, they need to book soon. As an online English teacher, I'd say having to chase students around for non-payments is probably the worst thing about my job, alongside having students not showing up. And I put this down to the fact that up until now, I haven't had a system in place that's really reminded my students of upcoming classes. And this is where Koalendar comes in. So here we are on a booking page for one of my services. And you can see here under notifications, I can choose email and SMS reminders. And if I go to edit here, I can change exactly what is said in the email, but also I can change how far or how long before the class is a reminder sent. And secondly, SMS reminders. Now this is really a game changer. This means that students should never forget a class with you. Now's the time to be honest with you. Like most things in life, it's not all free. We'll always have access to the free forever plan with Koalendar, which gives you all the things that you need as a teacher. So the bookings, event types, scheduling links, which are all unlimited. Plus we get to sync with 2 calendars and also get the booking notifications. But what we're really interested in is in the Pro plan. And if I was to select this, it would be $9.99 a month. But if I select the annual billing, then I get it even cheaper, €6.99. So what do you get with the Pro plan? You get all the things that we need and we want as teachers. We get to add questions to our booking form. We get to accept payments. We get to send those all important custom email and SMS reminders. And so this is really the plan we want to go for when we're really looking to scale up our teaching business online. Teaching or working online can be incredibly stressful. You're dealing with people from all over the world, trying to make sure they're connecting at the right time, they're giving you the information you need to do your job. And honestly, using Koalendar has saved me so much time. I used to spend hours a week sending emails manually to each student just to make sure they'd done their homework, that they knew the time of the class, that they had the link. And honestly, It was just too much for me to do with everything else I had going on. If I've got any issues, I just jump on the dashboard and go to support, and I've got someone right there who's answering my questions, is able to help me, and it's not just some chat bot that has no idea who I am or what I'm doing. So now you can forget about chasing students around for payments, about reminding them about the class, making sure they got a link for the class, and now you can focus on what you love, which is teaching. So go check out the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.